Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for the collective. And I'm doing this reading today in honor of the change in direction that Mars went through yesterday. So, yesterday, instead of remaining retrograde, it was stationary, and now it's moving direct in the sign of Cancer. And so, Mars in Cancer, it's not all that comfortable. So, all these weeks, all these months, ever since it went retrograde at the end of 2024, Mars kind of made us slow down and stop and think about our actions and think about what are the connections that fuel our energy, that fuel and motivate us, especially in regards to close connections, people that are important to us, especially family, because Cancer is connected to family. So, this reading today is to honor this movement that now Mars is on, this direct motion, which is kind of a relief, to be honest, and a very welcome energy, especially because we are preparing for the eclipse season that is going to start in March. So, the excitement that I'm seeing here in this reading has to do with a connection that is finally made. It's finally complete. I feel like before there was this moment of needing to connect, needing to talk to somebody, needing to, and it's not talk physically or through the phone. It's more telepathic. It's more like this spiritual connection to somebody, right? Maybe you felt like you were maybe distant from ancestors or from your own higher self or from your own team of guides these past few months. But right now, it feels like there is this phase of reconnecting, or it's like it's not even beginning the conversation. It's more like continuing the conversation that might have stopped or might have been blocked while Mars was in retrograde. But now that Mars is moving direct, it feels like the conversation is regained or restored. Let's say it is. It's almost like it has been fully recharged and now it's in its full potency. So before I go any further, because I forgot to introduce my deck, because this is a collective reading, I'm doing it with my big combined deck of tarot cards and astrological oracle cards. So you'll see both of them in your reading today. In fact, we do have a beautiful card that was so significant in, was it yesterday? Was it the day before? The last reading that I did, where there were two suns. The sun is here, the sun from the tarot is here, and it's talking about this full charging mode that now is complete. But there is something interesting here that I was talking about how you might have felt like you were disconnected from an ancestor, even like a person that is here incarnated, but it's somehow far away from you, or at least um, in terms of communication, it's kind of like you couldn't. Just a second. Sorry about that. I was just interrupted by a phone call, which is weird because that never ever happens. But I do feel like somehow, in a strange way, this has to do with the message because I feel like in this plugging in or tuning in or reconnecting with somebody that is so significant for you, there might be a little bit of static in the beginning or an interruption of sorts or some sort of um, like unexpected event that is like it's going to allow you to slow down, take mindful steps for the deeper conversation that is going to either be continued or restored or um, you know started again. So let's start with the cards before anything interrupts us again. So we have the King of Swords, and it's interesting. It's I was just like thinking about how I was struggling to say this word, the name of the card, out loud. And it's because this card has been on my mind for so long. And whenever I see this card, I always think about a person in particular for me who I have this connection, this telepathic connection. And it's interesting how, because it's so subtle, because it's in the realm of spirit, because it's, in the ethers, let's say, when it comes to communicating or speaking out loud, it's almost hard to pronounce it. It's almost hard to even address this one, right? By their name or by their physical characteristics or whatever it is, right? But here they are saying that they fully see you, that they fully hear you, that they are here present, and this connection is remade. It's been reestablished, right? And because the recharging phase is now complete, as I said, with the sun card. So I feel like each ray here was almost like our cell phones when the battery is dying or when it's charging up, right? It's kind of like those levels. So it was leveling up, right? It was charging ray by ray, is what I'm hearing. So it's like now that the sun is fully illuminating the sky. In fact, we do have the midheaven here, which is talking about, the sun at its peak. And because it is at its peak, this is the reason why this is fully charged right now. This is the reason why the King of Swords is completely in connection with you. There is like this direct communication, right? And again, direct communication doesn't mean that, you're going to actually talk to them, but at least not, physically speaking. I don't feel like this is the moment for this yet, although it might come at some point. But there is a phase of this exchange, this telepathic exchange, that it's still very subtle, but it's very, very potent, because I feel like this, it's almost like the charging phase was kind of like phase one, or even like phase zero, right? It was maybe this pause, maybe because it's too intense, it would be too blinding, it would be too overwhelming to directly connect straight away with this one. It's like they have a lot of knowledge, they have a lot of wisdom. In fact, they are ready to share this wisdom, but the guidance here, because now it's fully charged, it's almost like, because you know that this is a very significant connection, you might want to benefit from taking mindful steps with the Two of Pentacles. And, besides symbolizing these steps forward, but very mindful ones, specifically, in this 3D plane, in the level of your body, it's like take mindful steps, because the other image that I'm being given with this card is like what is the name? Like a plug, right? Something that is connecting to a plug, which is this communication. It's almost like a radio frequency that is now being adjusted to the point that if you plug it in, it's like the energy is so charged that it's like it might give you like an electric shock or something like that. So it's like being mindful of your steps, be mindful or of how you're going to tune in, how you're going to connect. Maybe this is like a very powerful meditation. So know that if you remain mindful of your body, it's like start with your body, right? And then go to your spiritual ambience. It's like the atmosphere where it's like the realm where your spirit is, right? Where your higher self, in fact, is. So I wonder now, I wonder now if this King of Swords, instead of being someone else, it's kind of like part of your soul family. It's like, do they share the same higher self as you? This is not something that I saw before. It's just coming in right now. But I feel like for you, again, take mindful steps, go slowly, because this tuning in is going to require that you are completely open, require that you are completely empty. It's like you need to be an empty vessel so that they share everything that they can, everything that they have been waiting to talk to you, waiting to tell you, waiting to communicate with you, because they are coming through as the King of Swords. Therefore, they have a lot of wisdom to share, right? But you need to come through. It's like it's almost like in this preparation for this reconnection. So this is the first moment that you are actually reconnecting directly or consciously deciding to reconnect with either an ancestor, whomever this King of Swords represents for you. And I do feel like if you are like me, it's like you have a specific person in mind that you connect, right? Whenever you go somewhere else, whenever you go to the ethers, it's like you have this person, right? And so they, because they have a lot to share, and this is the guidance from the Two of Pentacles, remain grounded, but take those steps to connect, because they are offering something that is completely enriching. And it's almost like they are overflowing, but they need your vessel, right? It's like it cannot spill randomly. It's like it needs, you see here how both of you are coming through as very similar, right? Having the same vessel. So either you are, related, you are family members. It's like you are, it's like you share the same blood. It's the way that I'm picking up. Just because, as I said, Mars is going direct in Cancer. Cancer is connected to family, right? What I'm hearing right now is like bloodlines. I don't know much about that, but maybe you do. So there needs to be this similarity in terms of the vessels. So they have, it's almost like they were waiting for you to be fully charged to take the steps to connect, to plug in, so that they could specifically, it's like allow everything that they have accumulated to now spill onto your cup, right? So they need your vessel. You see here how it's very specific. They could not do this with any other person. They need the same frequency, they need the same type of energy, right? Somebody that can, and maybe just now you are realizing that you're able to charge to your full potency. They need somebody that wise, right? So the moment that they are ready to drop these last drops of wisdom, although it might be the first, it's weird. It's kind of like this strange time frame where this conversation is not starting right now. It has already started, but it wasn't complete. So even though you are continuing, or going back to the same conversation that started a while ago, it's like these are the last drops that they didn't, it's like they weren't shared, they weren't spilled into your cup. You had no awareness about this thing about them, right? Then now that they are sharing with you, and it seems very, very significant. It's like these last drops. So again, it's like it is related to something that you had already received from them, but it has to do with going somewhere, because we have the Five of Pentacles next. So that's the reason why the guidance here, starting with the Two of Pentacles, was indicating this need to remain grounded and yet continue taking those steps, which is, connected to the message that came before the last one. I think the name is continue taking those steps. So this is the message here, but the steps that you are taking initially is in terms of this telepathic communication, so that you can receive the last drops of wisdom that contain the information that is actually going to take you somewhere. Because the Five of Pentacles here, it wants to be this destination, it wants to be this specific location, right? The five, to me, this one specifically was the one that, a long time ago brought this image of the X on the map of like a treasure hunt, right? So the the way that I usually describe this Five of Pentacles is that in your fully integrated self, maybe fully recharged self, illuminated self, you get to choose wherever you go. However, here it seems like there is this guidance, or there is this recommendation that is coming from the King of Swords. They are showing you where to go. It's not like you don't have free will, because it starts with your decision to take those steps to connect or reconnect in the first place, where the first drops are actually the last drops that didn't get shared, right? But you it's like you have to accept with your integrity. You have to accept, because it has to do with you going to a place that is, it's like it's bathed by the sun, right? It's almost like there is this moment, specific moment, where the sun is at its peak, because we have here the mid-heaven. So this is the card from the astrological oracle deck, which talks about the highest point um in a birth chart, in an astrological chart. And it's interesting because this point actually was the rune that came for the extended, for the last reading that I did, talking about the initiation being active. So it's almost like there are steps, right? So what started with the reading on Friday, last Friday, about continuing to take those steps, which you seem to be taking, right? But your steps are, it's like it's what you need to continue is the conversation with the King of Swords, right? So go back to that conversation, receive whatever this King of Swords is giving you about this place, because it's going to, first of all, be very fulfilling, because it's not like this instantaneous fulfillment. It's more like it's the place that you need to be so that you can fulfill your purpose, so that you can fulfill your destiny. Because this point in the birth chart, because it's the highest point, and because it was already coming in the astrological rune from the extended in the last reading, it's talking about reconnecting with the ancestors, but from the highest point. And so, just like a what's the name? A side note here for those of you who are not so connected to astrology. So, opposite to the midheaven is the IC, which is the lowest point in the birth chart, the mandala. And it's interesting how I know that the midheaven talks about, generally speaking, the profession, the career, all of the glories, everything that you are recognized for, and usually it's for your profession. But because it's opposite to the fourth house, which is the lowest, which talks about the roots of the tree so that the tree can grow and, give all the fruits. In fact, this is showing me a fruit. It's it's wanting to be either an apple or an orange. Maybe you can choose whichever you like best. But it's wanting to be the fruit that actually started because of the deep roots and because of the ancestors. And maybe if we're talking about this King of Swords as an ancestor, in connecting with them, you're both connecting with the IC, with the roots of this tree, but also from this highest point. It's reminding me of a meditation that I did once that was very, very profound, and maybe this has to do also with the deep communication that you're going to have, that you're going to receive information from this King of Swords. This meditation took me from the ground level to the top of the tree. So I was like above the canopy. I could see like all of the treetops. I could see like this massive forest, but from above. But I was not flying necessarily. I was like on the tree still, but I could see it from above. And this is what it feels like. It's almost like, because the image that I'm being given right now, it's almost like, okay, while you are climbing up to the top of the tree, pick up the fruit, because that is also part of what you're going to fulfill. It's like the purpose that you're here to fulfill, and that is being watched over by your higher self. So there is a little bit of because it's interesting. I have two images of uh like cats, big cats here in front of me. And now we have strength, right? So the lion here. So it's like the third one. So all of that just to say that it's like if you have cats or if you are inclined to connect with cats specifically, maybe this is even more relevant for you. But either way, this card to me symbolizes the higher self. And what this higher self is showing up to reassure to you is that in going to this place, when the sun is at its peak, when you do this meditation, perhaps, climbing up the tree, going to the treetop with the fruit on your hand, it's like this is when you're going to receive more. It's almost like this higher self is very quiet still. It hasn't spoken. So, this is the fascinating thing. This one, they're not the same, right? There is a distinction here, a clear distinction. So the King of Swords has a lot to say. It's almost like they have to finish something that got interrupted, right? That got unexpectedly cut short. So they still have drops, the last drops of wisdom that they need to share with you. So now you are willing, you're empty, you're this empty vessel that has space to receive this. And when you do, it's like you know exactly where you need to go and what you have to do. And it's like you need to savor this opportunity of holding this fruit in your hand, because that is, it's almost like in discovering your purpose and finding that you are in this position, right? So up high, you have a clear view of what to do next. It's like, because you've come to this place, yes, you have followed the instructions of the King of Swords, but it's almost like now that you are here, the next instructions are going to actually come from your higher self. You see what I mean? So the higher self has been here, but not so evidently, so visibly as it is, or as it becomes when you are at the top of the tree, when you have come to this place with the sun at its peak and you're holding something that seems to be kind of like very it's like the secret. There's something related to your purpose, right? And it's like this higher self is being a little bit mischievous, to be honest, because it doesn't want to give away too much, especially because the bottom of the deck is the death door. And I feel like there is a little bit of a mystery that this one is holding. It's not ill intended, nothing like that. I just feel like this one doesn't want to spoil all of the goodness, all of the beauty, all of the transformation that is waiting for you when you cross this threshold, right? And it's kind of like, here you knew where you needed to go. When you connect with your higher self, all that it shows you, it's like this slightly open door, as I often talk about this card. So you're not you're not so sure about where you're going next. You are sure about where you had to come until this point. So, but now it's, you see here, it's like the lips are sealed, is what I'm hearing. Um, but it's like the eyes are very prevalent. It's like this very significant, potent, big energy, right? And it's wanting to illuminate. Maybe this is, it's like, the strength and the sun are both connected to Leo, and Leo is the next sign, right, after Cancer. So is where Mars is going next, which is interesting. So I wonder what's going to come. Maybe it's like, this sun being at its peak and you reaching this point where you can do this meditation, perhaps of climbing up the tree. And then when you get there, it's almost like you're the king of the forest, right? I don't know exactly what it is, but there is something about the Leo energy that it's like it's very mysterious and actually very charming, right? So there is a little bit of a it's not exactly seduction, but like it's an encouragement, right? It's like this, your higher self, this strength card, this lion, which you are going to connect. I do feel like they are going to show up very, very clearly. Either it doesn't feel like a dream, but it feels like an altered state of consciousness, right? So when they do, it's like they're going to point with their eyes or with their light, right? It's almost like they are also fully charged as much as you are. So whatever is on the other side, it's still a mystery. It's like you will have to get there, right? And before that, it's like there are all of these steps. So first of all, connecting with this one, and then having this conversation, and then going to this place, and then reaching this. It's like it's not exactly the top of the mountain, right? It feels like there are it's like this very dense forest which is like shadowy, right? It's like there are shades. And then it's like you see the sun from a different perspective when you reach the top of the tree. If that makes sense. I know that it's all symbolic, but there are stages of connection that are happening because it got cut short. But now it's almost like the King of Swords, which might as well be an ancestor. It's like it's opening, maybe it's literally like helping to show you the door that is actually going to connect you to your higher self. Or maybe I should rephrase that. It's like the higher self is actually being facilitated because of this reconnection with an ancestor. And so, in reconnecting with the ancestor, you're reconnecting with your higher self. And in reconnecting with your higher self, there is this transformation that awaits for you, right? Hmm. I feel like that's it. Again, the silence. It's almost like, okay, that's it. Next. Okay, so I am going to pull more cards to see where this wants to go. And also, I'm going to pull from the astrological runes in the extended reading. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Bye.